Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Delta Green tabletop role-playing game rules by Arc Dream Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast will include mature themes and scenes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, military organizations, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or redacted, is completely coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your handler. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am your handler this evening, Michael Diamond. My pronouns are he, him. And we are back with our Impossible Landscape series of volume Secret Faces. Osel has gathered. I will warn our listeners up front that we are in the Missing Heart formation. Agent Hart will not appear in this episode, but perhaps she will because it's Delta Green, because you just never know. And we want to show our appreciation, our love for our listeners and our Patreon supporters. They help make the show go. We greatly appreciate everything that they do, and we look forward to delivering more for you in the future. And so we're going to get to cast and player introductions, which will begin to my right.
Hey, it's me, Miranda, playing Dr. Aaron Weber, kind of that kind of doctor. And I'm just super happy that everyone that I've met in this medical facility has been just incredibly helpful for me personally.
Very, very helpful. Everybody's been very normal, very helpful, and
informative. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You bet. And that's really what you look for in a medical facility. Next to Dr. Weber.
Well, hello there. It's your friend Nate, and I'm playing Special Agent Elliot Winters. And I'm really looking forward to Dr. Weber meeting the nutcase who has been talking to his duffel bag all night. That will be a little special treat for that doctor.
You know, I look forward to you doing that as well, just as soon as you get the opportunity. And last but most certainly not least.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I'm playing Brett Hawking. Not young Buck. But you know what? I don't know. I'm feeling a little sensitive to you referring to people as nutcase, seeing as, you know, I am currently down one in my case. So, you know, I'm feeling a little sensitive to that description right now.
That was exactly what I was referencing. Buck. One nut buck.
And on that note, we are going to raise the curtain tonight on this opera as we look back in at Dorchester House. When we last left, there was a security review that was going on between Agent Winters and a member of the security team. They'd gone through an exhaustive amount of information, whether it be video, audio data, even the access control logs about when people had scanned in and scanned out. There's all sorts of data had gone on. And you'd gotten a pretty good understanding, even though none of it made any sense. It didn't make any sense how people could vanish from their rooms with zero accountability in a place where accountability is really at the core of everything that they do, seemingly. And the security staff and the different levels here are sure different priority levels, different security levels are one thing, but you're going to be able to get out of a 3-floor institution like this. You're going to leave some footsteps, some fingerprints places. And the security officer had said that he was going to go out and get coffee. And for whatever reason, you don't really get a sense of the passage of time before the coffee returns. The room around you is sort of this pale blue color. It's sort of an off blue institutional. There's no real vibrancy to it. The clock on the wall is 6:15, 6:30. There's no outside window, but you can get a chance to watch some of these monitors. You see patients moving back and forth, and you look down at some of these reports and get a chance to review some of the data that's here. It's a lot of data. It's a thick manila folder. But Elliot's not a stranger to thick manila folders. You've seen an awful lot of them. And page by page, you get differing data. You read some of these reports and they feel more like reports on people, institutional reports, not access control logs. The numbers on these pages and the timestamps bleed forward into discussions about patient safety and people having reported seeing a man on fire. And the incident reports become more field observation reports. And you start to recognize some of the scenes that are here. Like there's a report of a clown in Washington Park holding a papier-mâché balloon shaped like a dragon. And you read this report and it sort of makes your brain tickle because you sure seem to remember seeing something like this. But it was years ago. And as you get down towards the bottom of this report, you read a name that you haven't thought about in years. It's an agent. His name is Marcus.
That clown was on a picture. That clown was on a picture from where I got my artwork. Nasty, nasty handler.
In the room that you are in, Winters, Buck is not with you, to be clear.
Seeing that, I'm also thinking back something Hart had mentioned. And I don't think Hart had a chance to investigate, but she had asked if it was... Because I'm convinced, yes, the footage that we've looked at and the records that we've comprehensively investigated together, and also my read of this security guy who's done this several times, these things people don't exist on the records and the video. There's tons of video. I have a decent computer science. I sort of want to, if he's gone for coffee still, I sort of want to hop onto his computer and I want to do more of a forensic analysis than a data review. I'm going to look, I would like to look and see, last chance before I fully commit to this is absolutely supernatural. Did someone mess with these records? Did someone do some major cleaning and altering and modification? And it's modern times, so there's some decent technology there. And it's almost a last ditch, man, it would be nice if this was something a little bit more pedestrian sort of review. I wonder if I would have time to poke around and do a little bit of that before the guy comes back from his break.
Yeah, I think you've got some time. If you want to make me a computer science roll or something akin to it.
And I'm thinking about this while I'm also thinking about Marcus's name showing up here. And I wonder if he was actually a client or a patient. Huh. And maybe I'm a little distracted by that thought because I've rolled 79 over 70.
You hammer the keys back and forth. You look through the computer. You look through some of these logs. And as you open up file folder after file folder on the computer, navigating Windows like a whiz, I mean, you know it backwards and forwards. You get into a bunch of different Word documents and you're reading back and forth and reading back and forth. And you realize there's something after a little while, probably 15 minutes or so, that you realize you got to cross-reference, and it's a part of the manila folder file that you saw. And so you step back over to the table, you sit down, and you start piecing through this thing. You know you've seen it. You know you have. It's in here somewhere. And it's that search through this file folder, through these pieces of paper, where you lose yourself somehow in the work until a styrofoam coffee cup gets set down at the table. It sort of snaps you out of it. And across from you, there is an older gentleman, probably a little slight of frame, wrinkles. His hair has receded significantly. Gray hair, maybe a few patches of black still in it. He's got a tight mustache and goatee. It's gray, wire-rimmed glasses. And he looks at you across the table. And he says, "Are you quite all right?"
Oh, geez. Startled me there. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I was lost in some of this. You take over for Devon? Are you next shift? I'm sorry. I'm Special Agent Winters. I'm here doing a little research on some of the folks that went missing. And I picture the table that I sort of commandeered, the piles all over it. If only I'd had some red yarn, I would have definitely been stringing it between connections and this and that. But I have created a massive mess of papers, and I've got notes, cross-check files going, and all this. And I probably have a little bit of a wild look in my eye. Your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm Dr. Friend. I find it interesting that you introduce yourself as anything other than Mr. Bennett.
Dr. Friend. Dr. Friend. Have we met, Doctor?
No, we haven't had an opportunity to discuss, but I would hope we would. Dr. Maximo Friend. He reaches out a thin, sort of aged arm and hand to shake your hand.
And I will reach out to shake it, but Dr. Maximum Friend, do you have a card, sir? Do you work here?
You reach out your arm to shake his, and his grip is by no means anything special. He's dressed in a gray suit with some sort of off pattern to it, and you realize that as you look down at your own arm, you are dressed in a off-colored blue hospital gown, like an outfit.
Oh, no. Oh, come on. Okay. I'll notice that. I'm going to take sort of a quick glance side to side. Am I still in the security office?
You glance to your left, and you see the stack of papers, which have sort of pervasively been moved around the table. You've put them into stacks. You glance to your left, and then glance around, and you realize that this is a standard room that you might interview a patient in. The computer, the camera setup, totally gone. The door is the same, except that it's been replaced by a door that's a little bit probably aged. The glass is there, but there is the honeycomb security in the center of it. And just outside the door, there is an enormous presence, like a large man that sort of stares inside. He's so tall that the bottom of his nose is all you see from the top of the glass. And Dr. Maximo Friend says, I do have a card, Mr. Bennett, if that's what you need.
Well, not to be rude, but Maximum Friend is quite a name, and Bennett's not. I'm going to watch his reaction carefully when I say, oh, and Oscar Bennett's not a name that I've really gone by in many years. But I want to see if I say that he has any reaction. Like, does he believe me? Does he not believe me? Is he sort of tired of hearing that kind of thing? I'm already wondering if I've slipped time again, because this has happened to me.
He doesn't seem to be tired of hearing it at all. He takes a very measured look at you and then makes a note in a piece of paper inside of the folder he has. Yes, I wonder why you stopped using the name.
Well, it was an alias, wasn't it? We used it for a purpose, but I never really did like all that subterfuge and such, and I'm just more comfortable in my own skin, Dr. Friend.
Yes. The names, the aliases, the time spent is all the baggage that you need to shed. That's really why we're here. He gestures around the table now full of papers that you've spread out into different categories. It's not some wild stack. You're fairly well organized here. But you realize that as you look at some of the cover sheets of these, some of these are operations that you have done. You see something that details what went on in Red Hook, You see some of the detailed reports that went on what you did in Mexico. And not too terribly far is a statement you seemingly made about the process of getting out of Montana the day before 9/11.
Do I have a watch on?
No, not at all, actually. There is a clock on the wall. It's about 10 minutes to midnight.
Which is a little later than I guess I would have thought, but not necessarily impossible if I lost a bunch of... well, that was later than I would... Okay. Dr. Friend, my apologies. I don't have my watch. What day is it? How long have I been working here? You know, I get lost in my work.
Of course. We all do. It's Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, of course. Tuesday.
You've been here now for about 4 or 5 weeks. We've been working through some trauma. And earlier today, you requested your files. I allowed it under the auspice that Ed would watch you. He gestures to the doorway. Mr. Ed's been doing an amazing job, as always, watching you. And you went straight to organizing, and you've been here, and we've been trying very hard to speak with you, and you were less than willing to participate in some of the activities, and so we left you to your own devices to organize. And then you asked for coffee, and that's when I knew that you were ready to speak.
Appreciate you leaving to my own devices. I'm not much of a joiner. Did I arrive here with my friends?
No. You've been talking about them nonstop for hours. In particular, you've been very concerned about their whereabouts. I've assured you that they're here at the facility and they're safe. And that what we need to concentrate on, of course, is what you're doing here and how you can solve the challenges that you're having. That's what we're here for.
Look down, maybe even feel like my forearms, and look down at my hands. And is there any obvious injuries? My nails, bitten, anything? I'm not ready to go full self-analysis, but I'm just gonna take a look around myself real quick. Maybe do I have pockets? Is there anything in them? All that kind of stuff real quick.
Yeah, there's no pockets in these hospital pajamas that you're wearing. You don't have a watch. You don't have any semblance of anything which you could do harm to yourself with. So you feel under your feet that you're wearing slippers rather than shoes that have laces. You have no belt. There's no drawstring in these pants which you could potentially pull out and do damage to yourself. Your fingernails seem to be in reasonable shape, although they're a little dirty. The only thing you probably notice about your body readily is that sometimes, just as you've been going back and forth with Dr. Friend, you feel like your eye itches.
I will itch it, and I'll ask him, Dr. Friend, I'm just trying to put it all together. Did I check myself in, or was I checked in by someone else? How did I make my way here?
Well, you came after the park, after what happened in the park. You checked yourself in. You were concerned you'd seen the dragon again. And the clown. He turns a piece of paper over to you. You see a statement in your own handwriting about being in Washington Park with your daughter. And you talk seemingly in very distinct terms about the clown dancing closer and closer towards you, and this paper dragon becoming closer and closer. And that's when you knew that you had to keep moving. Your ears filled with the sound of static.
I think I'll look down then at the research. And have I by chance organized this stuff maybe chronologically to a degree where I could look and see if there are files that I don't recall? So I'm looking for things that I might not, missions, statements, including that dragon one. But are there other things that I might not recall? I'm going to look for dates, see if there's years that don't seem to be years that I remember living, that kind of thing.
There's one that sticks out pretty quickly. It's a statement from 2003. It comes by way of some sort of operation that you were involved in Afghanistan. You do not remember going to Afghanistan. You do not remember being commissioned by anyone to do anything. But what makes it stick out more than that is that you mentioned something, an organization that you have never heard of before. And that organization is called the Program. And you begin couching certain things in that statement by being a member now of the Program. Almost as if there's an officialness to it. In fact, one line in there, you write that what had been done before, the quote, cowboy shit, was over, and that anything moving forward would be done in a process that the Program decided.
Dr. Friend, it'd be real helpful for me, and maybe for my state of mind, if I could talk to O'Neill or Dartford or Ward, any of my friends, maybe put our heads together. See, I think that would just be very helpful for my healing process.
He nods. I'm happy to oblige. I'll just need you to clean up the paperwork here, put everything into order for me if you would, and I'll let you knock on the door, and I'm certain that Mr. Ed can help you find them.
I certainly will. Good old Mr. Ed. Guy's big as a horse. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he's ever heard that one before.
You almost get like a smirk out of the doctor as he stands up and puts his pen away in his white coat. It sort of sits on the outside of that gray jacket he has. And he heads towards the door, and the door opens for him, and you see the arm and the sort of middle and upper body of this person that's sitting out there. I think for you, this is probably the largest man you've ever seen. He has to be 7 feet tall, if not more. He's just huge. And he doesn't lean down. You don't see him like full facial, but he opens the door and the doctor walks out, and then an arm reaches in, almost impossibly long, and pulls the door back shut. And with that click, that sort of institutional click of the door mechanism in place, we are going to cut to our next agent. Dr. Weber.
That's me.
It is. You had gotten somewhat caught up having a conversation with a few people here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, you'd realized that it was getting a little past dinner, and then the conversation sort of kept going, and you were getting walked, I think, through the halls afterwards. It's a little misty at this point, a little hard for you to remember. You've been walking through these halls doing your general inspection of the facility for what seems like ages.
Mm-hmm.
You can't remember the last time you saw a window that showed the outside world.
Mm.
Back and forth with a couple of the nurses here. And they ask you if you want to continue to tour patient rooms and continue to see people. If you're looking to see more of the practices, they can show you where they allow the patients to have a little bit of recreation.
Oh, yeah, I'm particularly interested in the recreation and amenities that are available. And if my friends are still busy, then if they're still working, Weber's still working. So show me to the tennis court and the pool.
Of course. One of the orderlies turns and opens a door. You hear a creak from the door as it opens, and what you hear inside is music. It seems like a uplifting, sort of upbeat, jazzy number. And they gesture inside.
Oh, do you guys do like dinner parties or something that's so nice? Like karaoke? I'll walk in.
You walk in. This room seems oddly familiar. Many of the things in this room seem shockingly familiar. The walls here have many recreational items which you could use to enlighten oneself. And that could be anything from reading of a book, magazines, periodicals, etc. There's a lot of really plush furniture here. All leather, probably stuff that was done in the 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
At the far end of this room, there is a mahogany bar. And it's exceptional in quality. Behind it, there are just an array of amazing refreshments potentially available. And that's not all that seems really familiar. There is a man at the end of that bar. And the man at the end of this bar is a man you've had a conversation with. Actually, a couple of them. He pulls the cigar from his mouth and he places it on the ashtray. And Mark Rourke's voice says, "Funny seeing you here."
Yeah, it is funny seeing you, period, ever again. And I kind of turn around behind me to see if the orderly has followed me in.
No, the orderly has not followed you. And in fact, behind you is a bookshelf.
Ah, fuck.
He puts a glass on the bar. Drink?
Yeah, I'll get my own, though. Go behind the bar to Weber's gonna grab a glass, pour herself something brown.
I like a dame that makes her own drink.
Yeah, it's not safe to let someone else, strange people that you reasonably should never see again, pour you drinks.
What are you talking about? We all let him here anyway. He shoves the cigar back in his mouth.
Hell? Is this hell?
No.
Are we in hell right now? It's nice.
This? No, this isn't hell. You want some candy?
No, thank you.
He takes a jar out and you see an array of chocolate, seemingly chocolate candies. I say seemingly because they're wrapped up individually.
Uh-huh. Yeah, don't like that. Why am I here? Because I was not here and now I am here. And I look around. Are there any other doors in this room or is it just wall-to-wall shelves surrounding me?
There are an awful lot of bookshelves in here, but there is a door in here. But that's really not the concerning portion that is really hammering your brain right now. There are two truths that you are struggling with mightily, and they're going to require a sand roll. The one truth is this. One, this room was not here. It shouldn't exist at all. Mark Rourke should be dead, too. And how the fuck did you get back here? And so as your brain sort of collides around inside your own skull, you're going to roll. You're going to make me a sand roll versus helplessness.
Well, I fumbled my sand roll because I rolled a 55 over 43.
Yeah, that is the total fumble. Okay, so I will give you the maximum, which is 3.
Okay. 3 sand loss. Which, is that a thing with the fumble that I can push it off on someone? Dr. Aaron Weber just has precious amounts of sanity left. And I feel like we still have more game to play. And she has 43 right now, so...
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy for you to push that off onto a bond.
Mm-hmm.
Which bond would you like to push that onto?
Probably my parents.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how I reasonably could
Yes.
push it off onto my parents that I'm here. And I feel like this is it's kind of like Weber said, like this is an existential crisis sort of thing. Weber was not joking when she said, "Is this hell? Am I in hell?" Because that's what she's thinking. And it's one of those, every decision I've made in my life has led me to this point. And this point is fucking bullshit. And it all started with me being born. From the moment I was born and everything my fucking parents instilled into me as a child has led me directly to this bullshit that I cannot get away from. There's no self-determination in my mind. I am completely out of control no matter what I do. This place is here. We tried to kill it. It's come back for me. It's been coming back for me. It's been sending me fucking letters. He's been sending me those fucking letters.
That's a revelation.
And it started the day I was conceived.
Yeah, push it off on your parents. It's all their fucking fault, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Rourke looks at you and says, Liv, what's the deal?
One, that's not my fucking name, and I'm offended that you would call me that. And two, you've been sending me those fucking letters, and this isn't real. None of this is real. I don't even know if I'm real. This is some coma fever dream that I'm fucking trapped in, and I'm living my life. I never left. I've been here the whole fucking time. I never left, and everything, all of the years in between, all the years, Hank, all of it is a fucking lie. Oh my God, maybe Holly still loves me. If I can get out of here, then it'll be fine. And I kind of like run for that door and try to grab the door.
Mm-hmm. You run for the door. You grab the door. You open the door freely. It is not locked. There is no issue with the door. It flies open. You hear Rourke behind you say, "No, if you're not going to finish your drink, I am."
Go fuck yourself, Rourke.
So we'll move camera for the moment as you pile into a hallway, desperate to be anywhere but here. Now, we'll just say Buck because it's easier that way. You were having a few conversations the last time that we hear. You were interviewing some very specific patients. I wonder, as the day and afternoon and then eventually evening wears on, how close a track of time are you keeping?
No, I mean, I'm here to investigate, right? So I'm not super keeping track of time. I guess I want to dedicate a good 20 minutes to each person I talk to. So I probably am checking my watch after I talk to people.
You go around and you make a lot of rounds. A lot of the stories don't, frankly, add up to very much. You interview some patients who supposedly knew the agents you were looking for, but they don't really have a definitive tale of what happened to them on that night. One night they were here, the next night they were gone.
Of course, the crazy people. I'm interviewing crazy people.
You eventually get around in these interviews and you come upon a pretty strange looking guy.
How strange does he look?
Well, he's somebody that only looks at you like from the right side. He's sort of leaned up against a wall somewhere. He's got a book under his armpit, like tucked under there. And he gives you this look out of his right eye. He turns as you come into the room and says, "It took you long enough."
Can I hand him Wist's note and be like, "Is this you? The note I just got?"
He turns his head and you see that he's got these lines on his face. 3 or 4 of them. Real harsh imprinted lines, scratches. He looks at the note and then tosses it on the floor.
Hey!
How many times are we going to do this?
As many times as we need to accomplish my mission, to handle this. I've never met you before.
That's your problem. You got that CRS. He taps his hand to his forehead.
What's that?
Can't remember shit. We've met.
Yeah?
I got it right here. He pulls the book out from under his armpit. See? Right there.
I don't want to look. What does it say?
You look, and you see a list. And the list are days and times and your name, Brett Hawking, over and over and over again.
How did this dude get my name? Is it on a name tag on my chest?
No, you reflexively look at yourself to make sure that you're not completely, blowing your own cover. And then when you look down, you realize you're in hospital pajamas.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably, is that a sand check?
You 100%.
Oh, don't do this to me. Fuck you. I am in a bad place, in a bad time. Yeah, hey, so Mike, Fun fact,
Mm-hmm.
I've rolled a 61 over 55, and if you take away a single point of sanity, we're hitting breaking point, friend.
I'm not going to take 1. I'm going to take 3.
Fuck you.
But what I'm going to ask you to do as a player is to just make a note on your character sheet that you have hit a breaking point. We'll deal with it at a later date.
Wait, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
You fall on the floor. You collapse at the idea of just this revelation. And it doesn't take too terribly long before you hear something approach you, like from the ground, and you hear something hiss at you.
Wait, hissing me like a cockroach, like a snake, like a person?
No, like a cat. You hear like an active hiss.
I thought I listed everything that could hiss. I didn't even think of a cat. What? Can I see the putty tat?
Yeah, you see it. It's making its way across the floor in here, this tile floor. It looks like you might be in a locker room somewhere.
I'm in a locker room? Like there's the little tiny square 1-inch tiles?
Mm-hmm.
Like a grid of the white ones with the black grout? Is it a black cat? Is this like a Matrix thing?
It does not look like a black cat.
Okay.
We're going to do this again. You flop it like a fish every time you come in here.
Can I kick or swing my foot out at the direction of the sound?
You can, yes.
In an act of aggression?
You do so, yes. The cat, with ease, vaults over your foot.
The cat talked?
No. The cat made noise. Are you're kicking at the person talking to you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not like a cat kicker. It's not who I am.
Yeah, you lash out. When you lash out, it's almost as if you feel the kick get deflected. Right on schedule, I see. You want me to call the orderlies now?
Can I sit up and scooch back against a wall so that I have at least like something behind me?
Yeah, certainly.
Sweet. I hope this floor is clean. What am I looking at here? Am I still looking at this dude with the scratches on the face?
Yep. He's sitting against, he's sort of leaned back against one of the walls in here. The cat is slowly circling, doing sort of like this figure 8 pattern in another portion of the room. It's just moving around, its tail's wisping back and forth, and it's eyeing you.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you never got along with that cat. You have a job to do. It's right here in this book. You got some fixing that needs done.
Do I have the vaguest hint about what he's talking about?
No fucking clue what he's talking about.
Okay. I have some fixing to do. I'm gonna take my clothes off.
Okay. You take your hospital pajamas off?
Yeah, these are not my clothes.
Okay.
And I'm going to get up and I'm going to attempt to walk past this person out of this locker room.
You do so.
But buck naked.
Certainly. You walk out of the room. As you walk out of the room and sort of pass, not by him, but perpendicular to him, because he's, of course, resting against one of the walls, you hear him say, "I'll see you soon."
Where's my fucking clothes?
You yell into the hallway.
Yeah.
After a while, Elliot, you get everything in order. It takes you a little while, but you finally feel like you're ready. Like, okay, now I need to see my friends.
I do also want to grab that Afghanistan report and shove it down my pants at a timely moment when it seems like maybe the giant won't see her. I'll just turn facing away from the window with all the papers or whatever, but I want to try and grab that because that one seems to be the one piece that is new.
Yeah, you don't have any problem taking the paper.
And then I will pick up the giant, I guess, bundle of folders and such, walk over, and I'll kick knock the door to be let out.
The door opens. As it does, an enormous figure comes into view, and you finally get a chance to see what the enormous figure looks like. Mostly short cut hair, so almost shaved, probably just a few days. He's got a very long face. His eyes, when they look down on you, look like they are 2 pinpoints of light surrounded by massive dark circles. He's almost shrouded in the lack of light here.
I don't like that. There's a general lack of light here. It's not just him, right?
Yeah, there is. In fact, all the light fixtures here on the outside of this room are a little dim. Some don't work at all.
Mr. Ed, you are a sight for sore eyes. Why is it so dark in here all the time, though? Why can't we? I mean, you could just reach up and change these light bulbs. You wouldn't even need a step ladder.
He sort of grunts at you. Doesn't really respond, other than to groan.
I will take another close look at him. Is this cat human? Like, is he proportioned like a actual human?
So let me ask you something. In the agent's life, do you think they would have ever met anybody with gigantism? Like genuine gigantism?
I don't see why Elliot would have. It's a pretty rare thing. Yeah.
Is he human? Probably. But like everything about him is sort of just extra large. That's just the way he seems to be built. Even his hands, his arms. And it's not like things aren't proportional either. And so like his entire frame is that way too.
So I look away. I hope he hasn't seen me intently scrutinizing to see if there's stitch marks where someone has put together a massive Frankenstein's monster or something. But all right, Mr. Ed, I'll follow you. Or you can follow me, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going. I'm a little frazzled from all that paperwork, if you understand.
There is one rule. You hear him speak. His voice sort of like fills the hallway. No violence.
Might be in the loony bin, but I ain't gonna try anything with you standing, looming next to me. Cross my heart.
He extends his arm forward, points down the hallway.
I will go in the direction he's going. And then as I'm going, scrutinizing as much as I can. Floor, walls, wallpaper, their doors, labels, anything. Light fixtures. Is this the same building that I feel like I remember entering? Is it, all that kind of thing? Or is it familiar in a different way?
It's familiar in a different way. The colors in here are somewhat familiar. This reminds you of like a government office structure from the 60s, the 70s, stuff that you probably did a lot of like early training in. All of the off blues, the off greens are all present here as just general coloring. But everything here has got a level of grit and dinge to it that you don't remember being.
Mr. Ed, I got to ask you, is funding a problem for us? I thought I remembered that we had gotten a pretty hefty endowment to kick this thing off, but this looks like every little shitheel government facility I spent time in the last 10, 15 years out in the outskirts.
You get somewhat of a groan from him, and then there's like a strange facial reaction. He shrugs.
I love this guy. I'm going to talk to him as much as I possibly can.
Weber, you run from the room. You run screaming, yelling at Rourke. You keep going. Are you going anywhere specific or just down the hallway?
Weber just keeps... am I passing doors? Is it just long hallway?
Yeah, there's doors. There are some hallways, clearly, that you could potentially traverse. You see some of the hallways have people in them. One of the people who you see in the hallway here is a little man, tiny old little man, unkempt, looks a little sickly. He seems to be bundled up in a set of silk pajamas and slippers.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's shivering. Looks like he's cold. Even has like a little nightcap on.
I feel like at this point, because like you said, Weber's been running past doors, Weber's 54-year-old Weber that spends most of her day breathing in bird fumes is going to run till she's out of breath, which doesn't really take that long. And that's, I feel like, when she looks over and sees this strange man, and she's going to ask for directions, because that's what you do when you can't find your way out of somewhere. So, hey, how the fuck do I get out of here? Do I wake up? Do you wake me up? Is there a quest I have to complete, or is there a boulder I gotta roll up a hill or something? Is the hallway is the boulder?
He looks at you and shivers and then says, "Do you know where the bath is?"
The bath? No, I haven't seen any bath. Do you know how to get out? I need to get out of here. And I kind of go to grab him, to shake him.
Okay.
Like, no, you need to tell me how you can take me out of here. You're little, and I bet there's little doors and little spaces that you can crawl into and get me out. Like the little door that I saw in the house, and the library, and the bars. You can get me out of here through put the bars so you wouldn't get out of here, but you can take me through the little door.
You shake this man. And he puts his hands up, because of course you're shaking him. And yes, you're only at strength 6, so you're not super man strong or anything, but he puts his hands up. And as he puts his hands up, you see that his hands are somewhat wrinkled, like they're waterlogged and wrinkled. And he's terrified of you in one sense. And then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you make an int ×5 roll.
That's my best skill. Success. 30 under 85.
You see in the wrinkles and in sort of the waterlogged hand, the relief of it, you see that there is a pattern in that skin.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the pattern makes up the forms, like the top-down form of small children, like laying down.
And these are like the wet wrinkles of his hands. Look like kids laying down, face up.
Face down.
Children. I grab his hands and I kind of pull them closer to examine them.
Mm-hmm. He looks terrified.
What did you do to them? What did you do?
That's what the king told me. He said a boy, a girl, I mean, as many as I could get.
The king told you? The raccoon king? That wasn't a king. That was, and we gave her a baby. I'm pretty sure that's what Buck was doing. I couldn't hear it because I closed my ears. I put my fingers in my ears, but we gave them a baby.
No, you gave them one.
Yeah, and the raccoons. Oh, your hands are kind of like those little raccoons. They're always so wrinkly. They're little wrinkly raccoon hands, as I'm like pulling his hand closer and kind of turning it and twisting it in front of my face.
He's trying to pull away from you, but you realize for once in your life, you are stronger than this person.
I'm sorry to them. I can take you with me. You can stay in the freezer now, because I don't have any more of the other one left, and now you can stay with me. We'll get out together. We should have to find the door. Come on, we should have find the door. Let's go.
Okay, you're going to pull him along with you?
Oh, yeah, he's going to lead me to that little tiny door.
Okay. You pull this little man along with you. He frets and he objects, but you pull him along, and now you're going to make a sanity roll.
Okay. I failed.
Against violence.
54 over 43.
Fabulous. Lose a point of sanity.
Okay.
You pull him along, and as you pull him down the hallway, you lose probably a little bit of track of how fast you're moving, and you bump into a T hallway. Like you come to a T, and then you sort of slam a little bit into the wall, and look around, and there's a couple of figures moving down towards you from one of these sections.
Well, what is it? Which way do we go? Where's the little door?
He points in the direction of the figures, and he says, That's Mr. Ed. He tries to pull his hands away from you.
That's a horse? That's a man. That's not a horse.
Elliot, you're fairly certain that you know that voice. Yeah, you've heard that voice. That's got to be Dartford.
Dartford? I'm just going to yell out when I hear.
And I say, why the fuck does everyone keep calling me that?
It's Oscar Bennett, Dartford.
And I turn towards, and I'm grasping, still holding on to this man's clothing, so he doesn't get away. And I found one. He's gonna lead us out of here. He's gonna take us out. He's gonna take me out. You're here too. It brought you back.
So are we in view of each other now?
You are in view of each other now, and you feel Ed start to move a little faster, and that is somewhat concerning.
Dartford, no violence. No violence, Dartford.
And as he moves forward, his stride picks up, and you realize really how long his gait is. And the man you have a hold of, Dartford, is screaming like he's going to be killed.
It's bad? Is Mr. Ed's bad?
You hear a booming voice in the hallway. You hear, "Violence is unacceptable." It comes from this figure who is closing.
It's confusing because I feel like violence is about to be perpetrated against me. I'm not being violent. He's helping me. He's got raccoon hands and the kids. He's got the kids on the hands. We already gave her one baby. Being it was a communal effort to do I know that most of it was not us, but still I was there.
I'm making the universal shaking head and cutting at the neck, stop talking motion more and more frantically at Weber.
Weber feels the need to get the fuck out of there. And this guy's scared. Don't worry, I'm not gonna let him take you because we're getting out of this together. And I grab my new friend that I've never let go of, so I really need to grab him because I've just constantly had my hands on him, and start moving away swiftly.
You move away swiftly, you backpedal, because it's really all that you can do. And when you do, you run into someone else. They are naked.
Of course they are.
There is certainly the somewhat familiar sound of wet flesh on flesh smacking as O'Neill arrives in the buck.
Oh, good. O'Neill, this guy's going to take us out of here. Bennett's in trouble, but he's got Mr. Ed with him. It's not a horse. It's not a horse, of course. And so, but I think he's about to perpetrate violence on me. And
I don't have Mr. Ed with me. He's coming to you.
Wait, we're getting out of here? You found a way out? They took my fucking clothes.
he's going to take us through the tiny door from the house with the bars. We'll each have to get through the bars, but still, he's tiny. He has to find a tiny door.
As you collect there, Mr. Ed gets a little closer to really everybody. And you begin seeing more faces, more people appear in the hallways. They are dressed like orderlies. They begin to press in on all sides.
Yeah, it's a frantic moving, I imagine, to try to avoid being surrounded, which feels unavoidable. Like there's more and more closing in. We're darting about to try to get away.
Yeah, that's a good feel for it.
I'll punch if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to make either dodge or unarmed combat rolls.
I rolled a 91 over 40.
I failed my unarmed.
So in short, this is what happens to this scene. You begin to have a slap fight with orderlies. You watch this happen. Unfortunately, because you're not directly trying to flee, they don't necessarily come after you as much, Elliot, but
there's just no way.
You get into a slap fight with 5 orderlies, and they quickly put you to the floor. And one by one, they get their hands on you. And when they get their hands on you, you start feeling pressure points. And with a 6 strength, you don't really have a whole lot of time to really struggle to get out of it. And that's when you feel something get pushed into your skin. It's a needle.
My slippery, slick, sweaty body doesn't help me at all?
Not with that kind of roll. Not with a 90.
Okay. Fair.
You become very docile. You feel waves of this medication run through your body, being heightened as far as your heart rate doesn't help slow the effects either. It only brings it on faster. For his part, Mr. Ed sort of keeps his hand a little farther back on you, and he says, "Wait here, Bennett. They will be fine."
Sometimes they just make bad choices, Mr. Ed, but I mean, they ain't dangerous, and please don't hurt them.
No, we will take them. They can have a session.
And when he says that, I feel all comforting because he says it in a comforting way, like a nice, rejuvenating session way.
He puts an enormous hand on your shoulder to comfort you. And he says, "You should come too. It would be good to talk about what's happened."
Is it a group session? I would do a group session for sure.
Of course. Come to the cotton candy room.
Cotton candy room. Okay.
Director, you have been sequestered in a room. In a room you went into voluntarily. In a room you went to adventure. A one you explored specifically, looking for clues. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Dalian appeared. And he didn't seem as friendly as before. In fact, he seemed rather ominous. And before you could really make a move, the door to this room shut. And all you had to listen to was the surrounding sounds of other rooms and the keenly strong footsteps of someone walking away. It's been an hour. No amount of beating on the door has raised anyone's attention. With your cell phone and any electronic equipment or gear having been taken from you at the front desk, with no weapons or what?
I had my cell phone.
Did you?
Yeah, because I used it to look around.
Is it in your pocket?
I mean, it wasn't one time.
You searched for it and it's not there. It's missing.
Oh, great.
But it's clear now that something else, something untoward, has been going on here. Dalian is not the calm and reassuring person he was in his office but moments ago. This facility is darker than you remember. There's no outside light, but it feels like the contrast has been turned up in this room, that the corners are a little dimmer, maybe a little dingier than you remember. I wonder, Agent, what you do for that hour.
Well, if beating on the door doesn't do anything, and I imagine ringing the little bell that, is supposed to bring someone to me doesn't do anything, I probably pace for a while until either I get tired or until I start losing hope. Whichever one comes first.
An hour does seem like a long time when you think about it. You really start to think about the fact after an hour that you really don't know how long it's truly been. With no reference point, it only feels like an hour.
But it could be longer than that.
It certainly could be. Eventually, there is a sound on the other side of the door. It sounds like someone's scribbling. You know when you take a pen or a pencil and you write on a clipboard, one of those school wooden clipboards, you can sort of feel the hard surface, and you get a little bit of not only tactile response in your hand, but you also hear the wood absorb the pressure that you put down on it.
Mm-hmm.
You hear someone on the other side of the door, and they're carefully writing something. You think they might be writing on the door.
Is there something I can roll to determine what they're writing on the door?
You could go over and listen.
I'll go over and listen and see if I can tell by the strokes what they're writing.
You try to tell by the strokes. It doesn't seem to be very grand as far as the handwriting. It seems to be purposeful. It seems to be very direct. And then you hear a voice on the other side say, "Oh, Joanne, it's unfortunate that you're here, but it's fitting."
Why?
Well, I mean, I've got it right here in my book that you were going to be here. I mean, you were supposed to be here.
Was I supposed to be here sooner or later than I am now?
No, you're right on time. Isn't that nice? I mean, it's like everything is lining up just as I fucking knew it would. The good doctor can't help you now, of course. He's somewhere else, but I want to know, when you read that book on the plane flight back, that book you stole from the apartment,
My blood goes ice cold.
I want to know if you thought you'd get away with it. I'm going to have you roll SAN from helplessness.
My sanity is 46, and I rolled a 44. So I did good. I rolled under my SAN.
You don't lose any sanity as part of the helplessness at this point, but you certainly are freaked out that this correlation has been made.
How could you know about that?
It's just like I said. It's all written right here in my book.
Who are you?
You might as well know. If we're going to do business together, you got to know who you're dealing with. And we are going to do business. Because this is the only way. Joanna, you are getting out of that room. You see, Dalian and his crew, they go home at night. They walk away. They never see this place. And then Dr. Friend comes out, and he's nobody's friend. Him and his lug, Big Ed. It's pretty simple. What I want is pretty simple. I need you to get something for me.
Okay.
It's something really, really personal to me. Everybody's got one. And everybody's thing is in a sort of specific place.
And you know where yours is?
I know where it could be. But you gotta understand, I'm stuck here a little bit. I can't leave, but you can, possibly.
Okay. And what is this thing of yours that I'm getting?
It's a bottle. It's got something really important to me in it. And it's personal. And what I need from you, Joanna Hart, is a promise that you are going to retrieve it by any means necessary. Otherwise, you don't get out.
And where can I find it? This bottle of yours.
It's in a place called the Whisper Labyrinth. You're going to end up going there. You're going to go there for all sorts of reasons, but you're going to end up going there. It's unavoidable. It's just in those moments inside the labyrinth, you're going to think you're looking for something else, but I need you to stay eyes on the prize, looking for a bottle with my name on it.
And what's your name?
Mr. Wild.
Okay. Now, is that wild as in Call of the Wild, or is it spelled different?
Wild. W-I-L-D-E. I serve the true king of this world.
And who is the true king of this world?
The true king? Well, he's the king in yellow.
Oh.
He's this divine ruler. He's transcended reality. It's probably more than your brain can take right now. But what's important is you're going to go to the Whisper Labyrinth. You're going to retrieve my bottle. And once you have it in hand, our agreement will be complete. Do you agree to these terms?
With one more question. How do I get to the Whisper Labyrinth?
Everyone's path there is different. You're going to go to a hotel in the future. You'll be on the run. But you'll find safety there. For a time. And the only reason I'm giving this deal to you at all is because the last person I asked to complete this task wasn't able to do it in time. And they at least had read some important details. You're all I've got.
Then I guess I don't really have a choice.
You can say no.
Well, I can, but I don't know if I'm stuck here if I say no.
You can certainly wait around for someone else to help you. I'm sure there's all sorts of people who might want to come knocking on this door.
I'll find your bottle, Mr. Wild, in this Whisper Labyrinth. Let me out.
Say please.
Please.
Good. You hear the door open.
I'll stick my head out into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody out there?
Yep. There absolutely is.
Is there a weird looking dude?
There absolutely is. When you exit out, you see a man whose face seemingly has been pockmarked by wounds, tiny little pins. You see that he's got scratch marks on his face. They look like a small animal has scratched him.
Okay.
And it also looks like one of his ears is a little deformed. He has a book in his hand. It's sort of like tucked under his arm. He's an older man, probably in his 50s. If he was cleaned up and wore something nice, he might look a little distinguished, but he seems to have sort of a little bit more of a sullen features now. He's got a little bit of reddening around the sides of his face, like maybe he might have a heart issue. He extends a hand to you, like a meaty, not like swollen fingered hand, but like it's clear that he just has slightly larger hands.
I reach out and shake his hand. We have a deal.
You feel something connect when you shake his hand. It was almost like a bell that goes off in your head. Like you hear a chime. And he smiles. He says, I have to get downstairs. I've got a meeting. But I'll make a note here. He opens up the book to a page. And on the page that you can just briefly see when he opens it before he turns, you see at the top of the page, Joanne Hart. And there's like a series of sentences and dates.
So his book has my name. There's a page with my name and sentences on it.
Not only sentences, but it looks like there are dates in that book. And there are things that crossed out.
Like, how would he have that?
You have no idea. The floors, the secret ones above the McAllister. He turns back to you. They touched you, Joanne. It's the last place you saw your sister.
She wasn't real.
He cocks his head to the side. She most certainly is.
No, she's dead.
He stares at you almost incredulously. She passed from one world to the other just like you did. Except that you came back and she didn't. Whether you find her again or not is up to you.
Am I also going to find her in this whisper labyrinth?
It's a labyrinth. Many things exist within it. People, places, items which one might say are unnatural. Secure the bottle at all costs. When you retrieve it and continue on, you will undoubtedly come to a moment of respite, a place far from here, far from any shore, and you will be able to send it back to me through the water.
Okay. Send it back through the water at a place of respite.
And for that, I will make sure that your reputation remains intact. That you are not besmirched. That you are not ran through the muck and the mud like so many others.
Okay.
He nods matter-of-factly and turns and walks down the hallway. And you are again surrounded by voices which you can't completely make out. Darkened hallways. It's actually an awful lot darker in these hallways than it used to be. And the clock on the wall reads close to midnight.
Either that was the longest conversation I've had with someone in a long time, or time moves very differently here.
It's a good question. I will leave you there. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull our episode to a close there. And next time, we'll all get a chance to see what happens inside the cotton candy room. And so thank you for joining us on this episode of A Volume of Secret Faces. We look forward to our next opportunity to entertain you. Thank you and good night.